Welcome to the class, and in this we are going to talk about terms that you must have heard like devaluation, revaluation, depreciation, appreciation of currency, domestic currency in terms of foreign currency. So that's what we are going to do here. So we're going to talk about, and now that we know what is flexible exchange rate, fixed exchange rate, these terms are just connected to that. So if you're talking about revaluation and devaluation of the domestic currency in terms of foreign currency, you're talking about government intervention. Government is deciding what should be the rate of exchange. And if you're talking about depreciation and appreciation of domestic currency in terms of foreign currency, then you're talking about flexible exchange rate. That's all that you have to learn. It is as simple as that. So let's start with so whenever a country has to pay more units of domestic currency to obtain 1 unit of foreign currency, it means fall in the value of domestic currency in terms of foreign currency. So when you're talking about fall, fall in the value of domestic currency in terms of foreign currencies, there are two ways that can happen. One is devaluation, that is in the fixed exchange rate system where the government intervenes, or there could be depreciation, where is a free play of the demand for and supply of foreign exchange. So let's just start with devaluation. So under the fixed exchange rate system, it is the government who decides when to change the existing exchange rate. Suppose the government decides to raise the price of foreign currency in terms of domestic currency. Now this deliberate raising the price of foreign currency in terms of domestic currency by the government is termed as devaluation of domestic currency. And now let's go to depreciation. That is studied under the flexible exchange rate. So under the flexible exchange rate system, the change in foreign exchange rate is in terms of domestic currency. It is determined by the forces of demand and supply of foreign exchange in the foreign exchange market. The rate may rise, the rate may fall. Now, when the price of the foreign currency in terms of domestic currency rises in the foreign exchange market, it is called or it is termed as depreciation of domestic currency. Or explaining it further, I can say that depreciation refers to a fall in the price of domestic currency in terms of foreign currency in the foreign exchange market. So what happens? Let's take an example. If the price of $1 rises from rupees 60 to rupees 70, what happens? Indian rupee depreciates. It shows that the Indian rupee has depreciated. So in the devaluation, the government decides here the free play of demand and supply. Now what is the impact? The impact is it makes domestic goods cheaper in other countries. Okay. Now now we will talk about revaluation and appreciation. So what is revaluation? So revaluation again is government under the fixed exchange rate system. That means it implies an increase in the external value of domestic currency in terms of all foreign currencies by the government. Now what is appreciation? So what is appreciation? Again, it is a free play of demand and supply. So you can just have a look at this. So what is appreciation? So it refers to the increase in the price of domestic currency in terms of foreign currency in the foreign exchange market. So again, let's just take the example. For example, if the price of $1 falls from rupees 70 to rupees 60, what has happened? Indian rupee has appreciated. So what is the impact? Just think about it. What would be the impact? It makes foreign goods cheaper in the domestic country. And you get questions regarding this. What is the effect of depreciation of domestic currency on exports, things like that. So what will happen? Now this will result in increase of Indian exports to US. Okay. Now, for example, if we take rupee and dollar, that is, and for all my examples, I'm going to take rupee dollar exchange so that it becomes easier to understand. So if they say what is depreciation of the rupee, again, depreciation of rupee means fall in the value of Indian rupee in terms of foreign currency in the exchange market. So more rupees are now required to buy a unit of foreign currency. So this will make foreign goods costlier to the buyers in India. As a result, what will happen? Imports are likely to fall. So if they are talking about imports, that is. So you one does get questions like this, and another could be explain the effect of appreciation of domestic currency on exports. So appreciation of domestic currency implies that the value of domestic currency increases in terms of foreign currency, say dollar. This means that the dollar can buy lesser amount of goods in the domestic economy. So accordingly, exports of the country are likely to increase. And another interesting question could be like devaluation and depreciation of currency are one and the same thing. Do you agree with the statement? So how do they affect the exports of a country? Yeah, both um, will help in exports, right? That is, depreciation and devaluation of currency may result in increase in exports of goods and services from the country as domestic goods become cheaper. But I'm sure you know that